Tom Segura and Garth Brooks are locked in what might be comedy's longest-running one-sided feud. It all started with Tom making fun of Garth for being, let's just say, awkward on social media. But it morphed into something way bigger than even Tom could have imagined. Over time, the joke evolved. It wasn't just, hey, Garth seems a little weird online. It became, Garth is so awkward, maybe he's a murderer. Tom's fans took the ball and ran with it, flooding every one of Garth's social media posts with absurd phrases nobody understands except the hardcore YMH fan. While comedy fans loved the sheer audacity of trolling one of the biggest names in entertainment, Garth, not so much. He started by blocking Tom from commenting, but that only made YMH fans go harder, and eventually Garth, one of the biggest names in entertainment, blocked the entire YMH team, eventually shutting down his comment section entirely. Garth has stayed out of the drama and never publicly acknowledged Tom or the ongoing joke. But according to Tom, Garth is more than aware and even said that when Tom had his infamous accident, Garth watched the video and just said one word: karma. In this video, we're breaking down the entire saga, starting from where it all began. November 11th, 2014, the country music star's first social media post.
I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook. I really wasn't sure about this at the start. But then a friend of mine said something that just made all kinds of sense. She said, think of it more as a conversation. I like that. But I'm already finding out on my own. So it's wiping the walls out between you and me, and I really like that. It allows us into each other's worlds, or I guess in my case, the hotel room. When I think about things I want to post cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff. But most of the stuff I'm going to post is going to be raw stuff like this. This is just who I am. So if this is truly a conversation, then I say let the conversation begin.
For the average person, there's nothing unusual here, but for those of us who are a little more psycho, like Tom, we see through the act. There's something off. It's not just awkward, it's forced. Garth was famous before social media even existed, before every celebrity was expected to connect with their fans in this weird personal way. And when he tries, it's like his team is making him do it. It's the energy of a step-parent who's secretly a ticking time bomb, the kind of person you walk on eggshells around at home. But in public, they're all smiles, over the top, super nice guy. Everybody else buys into it, thinks they're the nicest, most relatable person in the world. But you know that when the cameras are off, that switch could flip at any second. So Tom started to look deeper into Garth.
The dream still lives, and my dream is for us to love one another. All of us.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that weird?
All of us.
Not a lot of emotion in those eyes.
No, he's dead there. All of us.
All of us.
And he leans in and he doesn't really connect with you.
And why do you go, all of us?
Because it's dirty.
That sounds like it went.
It's for us to love one another. All of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
The deeper Tom dug into Garth, the clearer it became. This guy lacks sincerity. Not in a casual, out-of-touch celebrity way, but in a way that feels unnatural. It's like Garth got so famous that he lost the ability to relate to normal people. Every interaction, every video, every public moment feels like he's mimicking what he thinks a regular person should act like.
Every show is going to be game day or Garth day, however you want to look at it. Come dressed in your full colors, support your team, let's go have some fun, and let's get physical playing music. I like that thought.
Huh?
What the is wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I think, can I tell you what's really...
He doesn't know how to connect to human beings, which is
Or
odd
to
that
be
you're
himself.
such a huge music star.
Right. That's the... See, this is the conundrum, is he's trying to be this friendly social media guy, and he's not this guy.
With Garth, there's an obvious disconnect, an eerie quality that makes you question if the guy behind the camera is even real. It's not just awkwardness, it's something deeper. There's something off. And because Tom is a comedian, he did what comedians do. He pulled on the thread. He took it to its extreme. What if Garth isn't just awkward? What if he's hiding something?
So all this stuff is so foreign to him that he's never adapted like how to be
Right.
natural doing it.
Well, and also, and I'll tell you...
And
how-
also he might be a monster in real life.
I think he's a monster.
At first, it's a joke, a way to make sense of the weird, forced energy Garth puts out. But the more Tom leaned into it, the more it resonated. Because when someone seems this disconnected from reality, it starts to feel like there's more going on beneath the surface. It was so funny to Tom that he couldn't keep it to himself. He had to share it with anyone who would listen, and that included airing Garth out on the biggest podcast on the planet, The Joe Rogan Experience. Even Joe, who's seen and heard it all, was put off by Garth's energy.
And let's get physical playing music. I like that thought.
He's so weird. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Get that off the screen, Jamie. You gotta prepare me.
Why was that in the middle of the house? Why did you just so loud?
Because here's
Half
the thing.
second.
He's been so famous for so long that I think he really thinks like, what are normal people like? You know, if you said like, how much is a bottle of whiskey? He'd be like, I don't know, $10 grand. He doesn't fucking have any idea. And his social media is really awkward, and it's the best thing in the world right now.
It really is great. It really is amazing.
From the announcement, that Facebook one that was you saw that one. He's like, I guess it's official. But I think he's very sincere. I believe it. But there's something weird going on there, and I think he's got a couple bodies in the trunk. I just don't. I think there's something going on.
These days, most people go on podcasts to promote whatever project they're working on, an album, movie, a special. But with Tom, he wasn't selling a tour or a Netflix special. He was making the rounds just to market Garth's craziness.
Like, pay attention to those odd voice, like, octave changes. They're so deliberate, and the choice to do them, they're deliberate, and they don't line up. Like, why you would go, I like that. So, like that. It's like if you go, what's Ethan like? What's Hila like? What's Christina like? And you go, this is kind of their personality. But with him, it feels like a manufactured personality in the social media posts. It always feels like he's saying the right thing at the right time. Which is weird. And it feels, that reads to a lot of people as inauthentic.
The best part is Tom wasn't forcing it. The more he talked about Garth, the more people got it. The eerie videos, the forced sincerity, the bizarre disconnect, it all clicked. Tom had tapped into something people had felt but never put into words. And soon it became a common theme. Garth was Tom's gospel, and he was sharing it with whoever would listen.
It becomes easy in a stadium.
He's about to cry.
People the furthest away make them feel like they're front row.
Oh boy.
He's getting emotional there about putting on the show that'll change your life. It's weird, man. It is weird.
Yeah. Something's going on. Dr. Drew has to watch.
What's going on is he's thinking about all the bodies he's got stacked in fucking graves on his in his
You think
yard.
he's a killer?
100%. He's probably killed 200-300 people in his life.
It's a good cover.
The joke started as Garth Brooks is kind of insincere, but the more Tom ran with it, the darker and funnier it got. Before long, it wasn't just Garth seemed off, it was that he had the energy of a guy with a basement, the kind that would rival John Wayne Gacy's. It was ridiculous, sure, but it felt right. Garth's whole persona was so forced, so unnatural that people started to buy into the bit. Not because they actually thought he was a serial killer, but because, at the very least, he acted like someone with something to hide. While not everyone in the comedy world knew what Tom had been up to, his fans did, and they started what would soon become the absolute destruction of Garth's social media.
Is this getting as much attention from the world as you guys are giving it on this podcast?
Video stuff?
Garth's entrance to social media.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I don't know if he's getting.
You're doing a lot of the legwork.
Dude, his
educating America, are you?
No, his social media, his Instagram is over. It is
It's
over.
destroyed.
It's destroyed. It's destroyed. Yeah.
We've infiltrated.
Wait, that's something that's been going?
Oh, yeah. All his comments are inside jokes from us.
Yeah.
And they're usually vile, but like some weirdly veiled. Like, they don't add up if you don't know what it is. That's why everyone's like, what's going on here?
This is, dude.
Okay.
You're going to get him, by the way. I just feel like,
Garth, come on.
Come on, man. He's got to know about this.
Be weird with us.
Tom was right. Garth's social media was destroyed. Every post flooded with gibberish comments. Nonsense that made zero sense to the average person. But to your mom's house fans, it was gospel. The tie that binds. And then there was the comment. The one that became a movement. Where are the bodies, Garth? On the surface, it's in poor taste, but this could have all blown over if Garth had just acknowledged it. When Tom had a fake feud with a random weatherman from Erie, Pennsylvania, the guy's comment section got obliterated too. But instead of fighting it, he played along. He went on YMH, did a video with Tom, and came out on the other side with more exposure and a ton of new fans. But Garth isn't just some local weatherman. He's Garth Brooks. His whole brand is built on love and happiness, and because he wouldn't play along, Tom's fans doubled down. It was a big enough problem for Garth, he started banning certain words.
Like, every time Garth posts something, he all the comments.
It got to the point
of your mom's house fan.
Yeah,
I like that.
I was looking at Garth's every post, and within seconds, it was just littered with YMH. There were no more genuine Garth fans.
Yeah, well, his team has started auto banning things. Like the moderators there have taken they look for hot words now. You know, they found words like, I think, piss on me, beat me, Hitler.
Yeah.
But there's still words you can get in there.
Yeah. The more Garth refused to go along with the joke, the more Tom's humor shifted. What started as light teasing turned darker, more heinous, the kind of jokes that cross a line just to see how far you can push it. Tom went full throttle, comparing Garth to some of Hollywood's most defamed figures. If you're enjoying this content, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It goes a long way in pushing my content out to a wider audience. Gracias.
You know what we were just talking about? The darkest mother... Michael Jackson. Who else?
The Cause.
They all have these messages of like, you just gotta love the world. You gotta heal the world with the love. Meanwhile, they're doing dark stuff behind closed doors.
You think there's a Garth doc 40 years from now?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, and it'll be like they'll just show footage like this. How he was always like, hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Lots of waving and smiling. And then, his billboard's like, let's love one another. And then it'll be like, and this is where he cut people's hands off.
Yeah.
And it'll be like on his ranch.
Yeah, I could see him. I mean, he looks like he works out, but it looks like there's a little extra pounds from eating people.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
It wasn't just about poking fun anymore. It became about Tom taking the joke to a place where Garth's refusal to engage only made it worse. The more Garth stayed silent, the more ammunition he provided. Every chance Tom got, he took a shot at Garth. And it wasn't just the die-hard YMH fans who noticed. Enter Elizabeth Lell, a perfect control subject. Tom shared Garth's original Facebook post with her. No context, no explanation. She confirmed what everyone who was already in on the joke had been thinking. Something was creepily off.
What is your assessment of this person, though? What do you think's going on here?
He looks lonely.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you start to kind of go down, it probably means you don't want to say what you're actually saying.
Maybe I know.
That's what that looks like.
Maybe I know where all the bodies are buried.
It wasn't just Tom's humor. It was the vibe that Garth was putting out, and people were starting to pick up on it. Even the most casual observer could sense it. The energy was all wrong. And sometimes life just lobs you a softball, like when the National Enquirer served up a headline that practically wrote itself.
I just want to say it feels good to be validated.
Yeah.
Feels good
Yeah.
to be validated.
Oh my God.
Look at the cover of this is one of the most respected publications in the country. It says Garth Brooks kidnap terror. And you just see the face of an unrepentant, violent, possible mass murderer.
It was like the universe handed Tom the perfect punchline, the kind of headline you can't ignore. And of course, Tom wasn't about to let it slip by with taking a swing. Even though the article had nothing to do with Garth being the kidnapper, but actually he was the victim. And so the war between Tom's fans and the moderators of Garth's social media raged on. Every post became a battleground. Garth's social media moderators were actively trying to quell the storm, deleting comments, blocking accounts, trying to silence the growing wave of mockery.
We have destroyed this man's social media.
I posted, nothing feels better than a fresh kill, and they took it away. They took it away.
If you're a fan of Tom's, then you know that beneath all the humor, he's actually pretty glib. It's part of the charm. His brain operates like his fan base. Hard to impress, quick to move on to the next thing, and genuinely hard to make happy.
This is the most happy I've been, is when I go to this and I see this stuff. I'm serious. It really makes me happy.
I know.
It makes me laugh.
Glad your tongue didn't get stuck in your teeth and made you forget what you were saying. Let's celebrate with Saka Souffle. This is Captain Marcel.
Bye. What did you do to Connell? Keep feathering it, brother. Keep on feathering it. 0 out of 10, not enough ceiling fans. Mark Wahlberg. The family's Garth. You didn't follow pro. Still healing from the pain of you killing my Aunt Sue. God damn it. Garth, let my people go. Why, Garth? Why?
Tom's not someone who's easily swayed by the pleasantries. He thrives on the absurd. So when he sees something like Garth Brooks trying to put on a nice guy act, it doesn't just miss the mark, It feeds the need to dissect it and actually try to understand why Garth is the way he is.
This guy has such a serious facade going on. What is really the
I think
deal?
part of it, honestly, is the pressure of being that famous and celebrated. I think it kind of with you, you know?
Like Tom Cruise has that kind of thing too. Where
well, I'm just saying, like the expectations.
Normal.
Like people are like, you're like, if people all day are not, they're not just saying like I'm your fan. They're like, you changed my life. When I went through this, I listened to your albums, and I wasn't able to recover without like if you're getting told that millions of times, I think your expectations of yourself change.
I know.
I think that's part of what's happening now.
Garth's social media had devolved into such an atrocious mess that his moderators had no choice but to escalate things. They didn't openly block Tom, but they made sure his comments wouldn't even appear. A subtle yet clear move to silence him. So Tom did what any self-respecting comedian would do. He called on his fan base to retaliate.
They didn't block me, which is like, you could block somebody.
Well, yeah, they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Well, but what they didn't realize is that this has really upset me. So,
what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to do anything. But I don't like this, G. I don't like that everyone's having fun without me. And I think you should unrestrict T-Buns from commenting on your account. And I sure hope that the people who listen to this and comment don't encourage you to unrestrict me.
And like clockwork, his followers responded, flooding the comment sections with every bit of chaos they could muster. It was a movement, a reminder that when you mess with Tommy Buns, you don't just mess with one person, you mess with a whole army of prideful degenerates. Then it happened. During an online open Q&A session, a YMH fan infiltrated the conversation with a perfectly timed question. It forced Garth to confront the one thing he had been dreading.
I'm seeing a lot of comments that just kind of seem, I guess, a little random. Like a lot of them are saying, like, watch for waspas, and I guess, like, are you following protocol and things like that? So I don't know, and there's a lot of them.
I don't know, man. You got a hell of a job cut out for you if you're trying to make sense of social media. I can tell you that.
Right.
So try to remember that what's on social media is the larger you get in a following, the more you're going to get whatever the first thing was of just people advertising there. You're also going to get people on there that are trying to disrupt the system. So with social media, my thing to that is just, it's a beautiful way to get a message out. But what social media does is it waters down a lot of stuff, and the voices that you're hearing probably are not the original voices.
For Tom, this moment was like Mario finally breaking into Bowser's castle. He made it to the final level. And Garth's reaction was as unnatural as you would expect. It was clear. He knew about the joke, he had been briefed, but instead of playing along or diffusing it, his response only added to the eerie, off feeling that had fueled the joke in the first place.
So it's a hard thing for us. So in social media, we do either a Team Garth or we do it straight from me, and ours is a verified check. And so, yeah, you can look on any artist's site and they're going to have a lot of stuff that makes no sense. But try to remember, the larger the amount of followers, then the more that's kind of ad time for people who post that stuff there. So there's going to be some weird stuff anyway. I wish, and I would love for you to be the guy to do it. I wish there'd be the way where it could only be quality.
I would love for you to be the guy to do it.
This is a conversation that's being had over at Team G, Inside Studio G. Studio G, they're like,
watch for wasps. This wasn't even close to the end of the Garth trolling. It only got worse. And the more it escalated, the more it started to feel like maybe, just maybe, Garth deserved it. Because at the end of the day, Garth isn't just some down-to-earth country guy despite what he wanted people to believe. He was just another pawn in the machine, another cog in the wheel of the elite, and that became painfully obvious when he publicly joined the fight for Ukraine. But by making a grand performative gesture of support, something so forced, so blatantly insincere, it practically wrote the next joke.
Hey everybody, Garth Brooks.
And Trisha Yearwood.
And we're proud to say
We stand with Ukraine.
Oh my
Especially
God.
the refugees.
There's a global initiative, and of course, supplies and aid is already spread thin. And this is where you come in. We need your help. We need you to donate.
Yeah, I mean, we always ask for love and prayers.
Yeah.
Please keep doing
keep
that.
those up.
We're also going to ask you, dig in your pockets. Be part of the greatest global relief plan mankind has ever seen.
Everybody deserves dignity. Everybody deserves a roof over their head to feel safe. You can be a part of that.
Yeah, amen. So join us, won't you?
Amen.
Stand up for love.
Stand up for mankind.
Stand up for Ukraine.
Yeah, what was that?
Stand up for mankind. Stand up for Ukraine. What?
It just seems like Garth doesn't know how to be real. It's like he forgot how to think like an actual person. Every time he speaks, it feels like his handlers handed him a script and said, "Read this, Garth. Try to sound human this time." At this point, Tom had infiltrated Garth's inner circle. The joke had spread so wide that it was no longer just an internet bit. It was something Garth himself could no longer ignore. And Tom, he got confirmation, directly from sources close to Garth.
I heard some pretty cool stories about him that I can't share. But yeah, from somebody who's very close. Persona, no, just like personality, like
cool
verification.
Like full personality.
It was like verified about
how crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that he knows about it because I met a promoter whose family member is like works with him every day, close with him, and so the promoter said, he goes, I'm with my family member. I'm trying not to say who it is, and he goes, he knows the promoter. He goes, who are you working with this weekend? And the promoter goes, Tom Segura, and that guy goes, you're gonna work with, and he goes, yeah, I'm doing his show. And he goes, he's such a jerk, saying all this serial kill about Garth. And so the promoter goes, I knew about it, but I acted like I didn't. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, he's just mean for no reason. And then the promoter said, does Garth know? And he goes, yeah, he knows. And he goes, is he mad at Tom, or does he hate Tom? And the guy goes, Garth doesn't hate anybody.
Oh.
He hates you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows about the "where are the bodies" comments flooding his post, and yet instead of addressing it, playing along, or even leaning into it like the weatherman did, Garth does what he always does. He pretended it's not happening. And Tom, he just kept getting closer. The deeper he dug, the more cracks he found in Garth's perfectly curated image. Then it happened. A direct source from inside Garth's world came forward with a story. One that, if true, completely shattered whatever illusion of cool or composure Garth had left.
I work at Nashville Airport detailing and cleaning airplanes, mostly private jets, and one of our customers is Garth. Garth usually never pays for an interior cleaning and is notoriously cheap.
What?
And his people are
Love this
always
guy.
making sure none of us have our phones on us or are taking pictures while we clean. Well, we were asked to hit a, quote, quick stain on the lavatory carpet.
What?
My boss sent me in there and I was immediately overwhelmed by the smell of... Look at the floor.
There's caca.
Yeah. See the brown where it's supposed to be white?
Oh, wait.
This wasn't just an internet joke anymore, it was something bigger. Tom had made it personal, and now he had even more proof that his trolling had made its way directly to Garth. The source that had sent in photos of Garth's private jet recanted the story.
Hey, the video and information about Garth Jet was untrue.
Oh.
This is what this person...
Yeah.
I work for a cleaning service in Nashville, but never cleaned Garth's jet. I'm being sued by my boss for loss of business. I did not mean for that content to be published. Please take it down. It really is all a lie. I would have no way of knowing if Garth paid for a cleaning or not. Don't really have any money to my name. Would really reduce my chances of being sued if the YMH clip episode was taken down. I don't even... I'm not exactly sure what he's asking. But we definitely put it out there that all that's not true. Garth pays his bills
Of course.
and didn't over his bathroom floor in his jet.
Of course not.
And Miss Yearwood probably didn't either.
Never.
Even though she looks like she could take a hefty...
Despite years of relentless trolling, Tom and Christina still held out hope, somehow, that Garth would eventually come on your mom's house.
Garth's comment section is always filled with people asking him, where are the bodies? It's taken on a whole level, and it's like, at some
It's
point,
fun.
Garth's going to have to address it.
I always wonder if he thinks it's funny in any way.
I'd love to
And I
find
don't
out,
think he
Garth.
does.
I wish you would come on the show and speak to us, and let's put these rumors to rest.
At this point, it wasn't just about getting Garth on the podcast, it was about proving a point. Garth Brooks might be one of the biggest names in country music, but in the world of comedy, he was a basement dweller just like the rest of us, but had yet to come to terms with it. That's when Tom and the YMH crew pulled off their biggest stunt yet. They sent one of their producers to a Garth Brooks concert, blending in with the crowd, holding a sign that read, "We love you, Garth." Harmless enough, nothing suspicious. But when the camera panned over, the producer let the sign drop, revealing what was underneath.
Hadab, you're a genius.
Yeah,
Garth, you should make this happen.
And then
for everybody,
because he's not
Solo,
gaining
we love you,
fans.
Garth.
We love you. Where are the bodies, G? Look how quickly they pulled that camera away.
Yeah.
They didn't just switch cameras; they backed out of it.
It was a perfect ambush, broadcasted on the big screen for thousands to see. And somewhere in the depths of the carefully controlled empire, Garth, who had spent years trying to pretend none of this was happening, was hit with the haymaker in front of thousands of fans, subsequently shown to millions of people on the Joe Rogan Experience. Joe was smart enough to use the moment to pander to Garth in hopes of getting Tom the much sought-after interview he always wanted.
Tom and Christina are
Hold
very
on.
nice
I'm
people,
gonna be
and they'll
devil's
be
advocate.
very.
I'm gonna be devil's
Shut
advocate.
the up for a second, and they'd be happy to have Garth on and be nice to him and explain, we're sorry if this hurt your feelings. This is all just fun.
Tom once again confirmed that Garth is fully aware of the joke and he's not happy about it. But what made this different, Tom's sources weren't just industry insiders or distant promoters anymore. Now he was hearing it straight from someone who talked with Garth's right-hand man.
And I met this person, and I go, so what's going on? Like, does he know? And he goes, oh, yeah, he knows.
Of course he knows.
And then I go, so what's the deal? And they go, well, he goes, I asked his right-hand person, does Garth hate Tom? And the guy goes, Garth doesn't hate anybody, which is such a Garth answer. You know?
The walls were closing in. What started off as an offhand joke about Garth's eerie energy had evolved into a full-scale infiltration of his inner circle. Tom had done what he does best, pushed the joke so far that he wasn't just shadow banned from Garth's social media. He was now full-on blocked, and even learned that Garth, when confronted with the joke, found a way to take comfort in one of the worst moments of Tom's life.
So he just blocked me on Instagram.
Oh.
And I was like, it finally blocked me, you know? And then another person told me, they go, yeah, I heard, this person said to me that they heard from a reliable source that when my name comes up to him, that he on his phone shows the video of me playing basketball and falling, and he goes, karma. Karma, yeah. And I was like, that pretty amazing.
Wow.
That a serial killer is finding it in their heart to say karma for the other person. Like,
Not only did Garth block Tommy Buns from all his social media, but he eventually blocked everyone from YMH Studio. Christina, the producers, the interns, everyone.
Pretty much everybody's blocked now.
Literally, we're all blocked.
By the way, the entire YMA Studios has zero access to the G account. And here's what I can say. This is not the time to back down. We need you to step up where we can't. Right?
Support our cause.
You're going to be weak, or you're going to be strong. Your brothers are sitting here just waiting for the hella evac. We don't have food. We don't have water. Are you going to leave us here? Or are you going to step up?
As you can guess, the basement dwellers didn't leave Tommy hanging. They stepped up, and in a big way. Every attempt at normalcy was met with an unrelenting wave of, "Where are the bodies, Garth?" It had gotten so bad that Garth Brooks, one of the biggest celebrities on the planet, had to disable his comment section entirely. A man who once commanded stadiums full of adoring fans was now completely powerless against a horde of internet gremlins. 10 years since Garth's first social media post and the latest mentioning of him on Your Mom's House. And while the accusations against Garth are very serious, that didn't stop Tom and the YMH crew from using it as fuel to continue their relentless campaign.
Garth Brooks is facing serious allegations from a former makeup artist. She worked for them for over 15 years, claims that he subjected her to multiple instances of sexual assault. Jesus. 2019, the accuser details disturbing incidents, including an alleged assault where Brooks held her upside down by her ankles. Other accusations include inappropriate advances and explicit comments that reportedly continued despite her objections. in response, by the way, she also claimed that he assaulted her at the Beverly Hills Hotel and then went to the Grammys, like right after that. Like
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go now.
Yeah.
That is a nice hotel.
This is obviously a very serious thing. And I feel like the right thing to do, because I don't really know, is to let
I feel like you do know.
the courts do their thing and let this take its natural course. And we will hopefully have much more to say after it plays out.
So special.
That's all I got.